Hi, I'm Brianna Dominica, and I am so excited to kick off my very first Warrior of the Week!
Yay!
And this week, our guest is my dear friend, Alayna.
Hi! Thank you so much for having me.
Of course!
I'm so excited.
And when I think of a warrior and overcoming, one of the first people that pop into my mind is this girl right here.
Aww.
She has an incredible story of just hope and encouragement. And I hope for all of you out there watching, you can just feel a little less alone by hearing her story and hearing our conversation today.
Yeah.
So, Alayna, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, hi everyone. My name is Alayna. I am an artist and a songwriter living in Nashville, Tennessee. I am originally from Western Pennsylvania. I've been in Nashville 10 years, just pursuing the music thing. And, yeah.
Have you struggled with mental illness?
Yes, very much so. I have dealt with mental illness, during most of my life. And I was diagnosed with chronic depression when I was 10 years old. I went to see counselors and psychologists, and I unfortunately experienced a lot of abuse at home, mostly verbal abuse from my grandparents. And I didn't realize like how much it had a hold on me and how much it had affected me, until I moved to Nashville. And, I just always knew that I was more emotional than a lot of other people. And I just had a couple people, encourage me to seek some help. And so I was kind of at a breaking point in one of my part-time jobs. So I went and sought help, to figure out what's going on and how, it can help me live a more balanced life. And it turns out I was diagnosed by 2 different doctors that I had post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD for short, which is known to be kind of a thing with soldiers and the military, but it's not just, in soldiers, it's anyone that's experienced a traumatic event, like war or abuse or rape or anything like that. Tornado, natural disaster can cause PTSD. So I went and sought help for it, and did a lot of counseling, still in counseling.
Counseling's great.
Absolutely.
I'm a big advocate for counseling.
Yes.
And I will put some resources in the description for, if you need counseling and help like that. Yeah.
But I got some medication and it's really helped me. I'm gonna get emotional now. It's really helped me. There's been a lot of ups and downs, like in Nashville and everything. So I'm just really grateful that, I had those people encouraging me to get help, and that I did go and seek the help that I needed to get.
Yeah. Well, as your friend, I'm so glad to see you thriving, and you're newly married.
Yes! Yes!
Just see you so happy.
Thank you. Yeah, I got married last May 2021 during the pandemic, and it's coming up really soon as our 1-year anniversary. And I'm just really excited to bust out that cake again because we froze the top layer.
What's a good cake?
Oh my gosh, it was so good. Yeah, it was delicious.
It was. Does mental illness run in your family, or was it?
Yeah. My grandmother had really, really high anxiety, like really, really high anxiety. And she would not get help for it, and then, yeah. And my mom had schizophrenia. She was diagnosed with schizophrenia. And so I think there's definitely a history there. I don't know like super far back or anything, but yeah, I think it does like run in our family.
Yeah, that's something that I've noticed is
Really?
is that, you know, mental illness or suicide does run in families. You know, I know it's been prevalent in mine, and there is always seems to be a history with it. So how did what really helped you to overcome, like were there like specific coping mechanisms or people or things like that helped you overcome?
Yeah, I don't know if I fully overcome, but I am.
Do we ever really?
Yeah,
it's a day by day. We're just learning, taking it one step at a time.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. Yeah, it's just like one day at a time. I mean,
it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah, it's okay not to be okay, but I have a great therapist. He is so wonderful and non-judgmental. That's awesome. He's very calm, and I love him so much. And
on that note, like as someone that is currently in counseling, you know, what would you say to people that are like wanting to seek counseling, but they have gone to therapists and it hasn't been the right fit? You know, because I feel like
I've had that before. Yeah.
You know, like with me, the first counselor I went to, she just happened to be a really good fit, and down in Florida, and she was great. But that's not always the case. What would you, can you speak into that a little bit?
Yeah, I think maybe just like trying somebody new. It might take a little time to gel with someone, I think. But yeah, I've definitely had the moments where, you know, the counselor didn't fit. I had one lady, she kind of like yelled at me in our session. So I was like, you know what? I don't think this is gonna work. So, so I, you know, kind of left. So, but maybe, you know, recommendations from other people, you know, or just trying somebody new. Until you find that right fit.
Awesome. So you recently released a song called Psych Ward.
Yes.
Is that from, can you share some of your experience with that?
Yes.
Where that song came from?
Absolutely. Yeah, if you want to check it out, it's on my YouTube channel. It is from personal experience. I was in the psych ward in 2020 during the pandemic. I was at work and I kind of lost it a little bit and I was self-harming, and I got taken away in the ambulance, and I was at the hospital for about 5 days. And so it was a really big experience for me. It's going to stick in my mind forever. You know, I'm never gonna forget about that. And, you know, I got out and I had to write a song about it to deal with that. And luckily my co-writers, my husband Adam and our friend Scott Barrier, who you know, by the way, were willing to write it with me. It's kind of a humorous song, actually, trying to make light of the situation, but it is a very serious situation. And, you know, I was in there with other people that were also struggling, you know, I mean.
I've never been in that situation, although I have self-harmed. What would you say the experience was like? Would you say like you were well treated, poorly treated, or?
Oh yeah. I feel like I was treated very well. The nurses and everybody were very kind and understanding. I think it was the first night I was there. My mind was just racing from this social situation that I had gone through, and I could not stop thinking about it. And I just did not know what to do because I was laying in my bed and my mind was just like racing, you know, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I went up to the nurses and I said, hey, like, I am really struggling right now. I don't know what to do. My mind is spinning. And they're like, oh, well, it's okay. Like, it's medicine time now and we're gonna give you a new pill. So they gave me a new type of medicine and it changed my life. It changed my life.
Yes, the other thing I want to add, do not be afraid of medication. You know, some people, they need it.
Yeah.
It's nothing to be ashamed about.
Yeah. So. It's not like the end all be all, you know, there's still like therapy and there's still, you know, just building a strong support system and stuff like that. Important. Yeah. And, but that pill that they gave me, like, really, like, wow, like, made a huge difference. I feel so much more balanced than I ever have in my whole life. And that's saying amazing. A lot.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. Well, is there anything else you want to add in regards to that, or do you want to move on to a little bit lighter, happier note?
I just want to say thank you for having me here. I appreciate you being open to talk about this. I think it's super important and that what you're doing is amazing. And people need to hear these messages. And if you guys at home, you know, have any questions, leave a comment.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Comment. And also you can book me to come to either your school or your church through my ministry, angelinthesky.org or briannadominica.com. And that program is the Warrior in Me outreach program. So yeah, and I will, like I said, put some resources if you or someone you know is struggling with either mental health or suicidal thoughts or self-harm. I will put some resources for y'all in the comments or in the description below, excuse me.
Yes.
On a lighter note, you have a brand new single that just came out.
I do.
You want to tell people about it?
It's called Top of a Dream, and it is basically about the abuse that I went through, like growing up and everything. It was actually one of the first songs that I wrote when I moved here, so it's like 10 years old.
Really?
Yeah. But I wrote it with Kirsti Manna, and she wrote Austin for Blake Shelton, and she was really kind to me in the write because it was probably the first time I had written with like a pro writer.
Okay, so for people that may not know what that is, can you explain what like a pro writer is or a co-write?
A co-write is basically when you know, multiple people get together to write a song together. So it could be me and you.
Right. We've done many a co-write.
Yes, or 3 people or 4 people or whatever. And pro writer, I mean, I guess everyone here has different definitions, but like I think overall consider the pro writers to be the hit writers, the ones that have had the #1s and, you know, gotten paid lots of the good money and everything. So, yeah, but I wrote that with her and she was super sweet in the write because, like I said, that was my first write with a pro writer pretty much. And I was so nervous.
My first write too. I was so terrified. I didn't say anything. I don't know why I have a credit on the song. I literally did not say anything in the write.
Oh my gosh.
I was so nervous. But but also was really, you know, just a very cool experience. So. Yeah. Sorry, I had to share
No, you're fine. It makes us better writers and, you know, it's great to have the opportunity to write with pro writers, you know. It's
for sure.
One of the perks of being down here in Nashville. So.
Yeah. And I find they're like very the pro writers here are just so willing to work with like the up and coming artists.
Yes.
They're just
Yes.
very encouraging.
Yeah.
And that's great because the music industry is hard.
It's cutthroat.
It is. And I mean, you're in the country vein and I'm in the Christian vein.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah.
it's still cutthroat no matter which way you slice it.
Absolutely.
And so it's great to have like the support of like the pro writers in town. I know for me, one of my biggest coping mechanisms is songwriting and music. And I think we probably share that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like it's so therapeutic.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. I used to lock myself in my room growing up and just like play music all the time for hours and hours, you know, play it on my little boom box that I had, like Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Sheryl Crow,
Yes.
Brandy, Jewel, you know, and start getting into writing lyrics.
How old were you when you wrote your first song?
I was 12 and I had no idea what I was doing. I just like wrote these words down and I sang a little melody in my head, didn't record it. Still kind of remember it though. But yeah, I didn't realize what I was doing. Like if I had really known, I would have like kept being like super consistent with it, but I didn't really have anyone to like, I mean, I guess I probably may have did had I showed it to somebody, but I didn't really have like a whole lot of people to like encourage me, you know? So like I didn't pick up back up again until I was like later teens.
Well, thank you so much for being on, and I really hope that y'all watching were able to find some hope from Alayna's story. I know I do. I know to me she is the epitome of a warrior, and I just want y'all.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, friends.
I love you.
And for all of you watching, if you are feeling alone or struggling, there is help, there is hope, and you are a warrior, worthy, assertive, resilient, radiant, irreplaceable, overcomer, and ready to tackle whatever comes.